How many people here have customers? Good, good. Since we're here to talk about customer relationship management, you're in the right place. And for us, customer relationship management is about gaining and retaining customers. We put it simply down to that point of view. Let me ask you a question. As we go to these events, we get a lot of different kinds of people that show up and want to hear from us. How many of you have some experience with SugarCRM? Have used that product before? Wow, that's fantastic. Okay, and for how many of you, it's sort of a brand new introduction to SugarCRM? Okay, okay, good mix. Well, hopefully we'll have something for all of you today. It's a great set of sessions and events. As I kick off this morning, what I'd like to do is talk about CRM and how it relates to some of the big technology trends that we're seeing today. Julian mentioned a couple of those in his intro, but if I think about three of the biggest tech trends that are probably on your minds, and certainly as a CEO, they're on my mind all the time: social, mobile, and cloud. What do you do and how do you respond in a world that is increasingly connected via social networks on the internet? How do you work in a world that is increasingly mobile, where everyone is now going to a mobile device and all interactions are happening in that world? And then finally, how do you take advantage of the cloud? These represent big change in the world, significant across all of these aspects. And so the question I'd like to deal with this morning is, how does that impact CRM? Well, to do that, let me start with social, and look at social and see how social has changed over the past few years, and think about what that means for us. So first of all, if we were going back to 2005, and we were to spec a CRM system that was talking to our customers or interacting via social, what do you think we would have spec'd? Think about 2005. Well, anybody remember this Business Week cover? Anybody remember Dig? Dig, big social network. Gone. Anybody remember MySpace? This graph shows MySpace, Facebook, and Twitter over the past 5 to 7 years. We've gone from a world where it was Dig and MySpace, if you will, and other social networks, to now where it's Facebook and Twitter. The world has changed in social networks in the space of only 5 years. Think about if you were trying to spec then, if you had spec'd the world of then, well, you'd be out of date now. And you have to change and constantly evolve with that. If you also look at what we need to do today, well, today we're thinking about Facebook and Twitter, but what's the up-and-coming world? Tumblr, Google+, Pinterest. These networks are all on a significant rise, and we see those. So what do you do today? What do you spec? How do you approach that? Okay. Finally, when you're looking at social, you have to link mobile into that. If you look at this chart, this tells us that 80% of users going to Facebook were going there through mobile devices. So mobile and social are deeply intertwined there. How do you make all of those connections happen? What does that mean for how you think about what you do with CRM? That's a great segue to mobile. So let's talk about mobile. Your users, your customers, your salespeople, your employees, they're all on mobile networks now. Again, let's go back to 2005. What would you have spec'd for mobile devices? Well, back in 2005, there was a vision of the world where we didn't have all these different app stores and apps. It was all about web browsers. But today, everything is moving to apps on mobile devices. So now you have to be speccing individual operating system and apps. But what would you have spec'd? Well, this specific to USA, but it represents the trends worldwide, which is, what are the devices in mobile? If you had gone back, this is just 2009. BlackBerry is way at the top of that chart in 2009, and Android is virtually non-existent. You come out today, and Android devices are at the top of the chart. Apple, of course, significant market share, but Android's now outselling Apple devices 2-to-1 in the marketplace. So what you expect back in 2009 was what you were still working with today, you'd be at the opposite end of the market as BlackBerry has dropped. Okay? Change. Let's talk about cloud. Let's go again back to 2005. What would you have said with cloud computing? Would you have said, I need to be in the cloud? Would you have been able to take advantage of IBM's Smart Cloud Enterprise? Would you have been able to take advantage of Amazon Web Services? Would you have said, I need to run in the cloud, I need to be able to move back and forth between the cloud and on-premise? What would you have said? Well, this chart shows the searches and interest in cloud computing on Google over time. Prior to 2007, there was virtually no one looking at cloud, no interest there. And you can see the rise in cloud computing since then. In 2005, we probably weren't even thinking about cloud and how to deal with it. Now, who knows what's next with any of these things? So, from 2005 to today, social networks, SaaS, web browser, what do we move to? We have Facebook, Twitter today, we have cloud, we have mobile apps, we have all these different mobile devices. We've gone from RIM to Android. So what's the constant here? Sort of the one constant in this is change. And as you're thinking about how you communicate with customers, how your employees work, how they have to understand and communicate with customers, how do you bring all of that into this? What's next? Do you have to predict what's next? Well, our answer to you with SugarCRM is that we don't try and need to predict what's next in any of these areas. It's our approach and design to build an open platform that is future-proof, a platform that allows you to take advantage and to grow as these technologies grow and mature. What's next in social networks? I don't know. Is it going to be Tumblr? Is it going to be Pinterest? Great. Our open platform will integrate with whatever it is. Cloud computing. Our open platform will run on whatever cloud platforms there are. That's our approach. That's our open model. We'll support whatever open devices are out there in mobile. The point is to build a platform that grows with you and that can take advantage of these different technologies. Our first Twitter integration was not built by us as a company. Now, it's built into the product today, but it was built by our community. Why do we have so much language support and internationalization in the product? We support 26 languages out of the box, but we didn't start there. By the way, there's another 40, 50 plus languages that are available from our community. Dialects of various languages. Why? Because we have an open platform that enables the community to contribute and gives you control and enables you to take your CRM system in whatever direction makes sense for you. So our vision is around that platform. With it,